bless you. Traveler, coming to share all my love and my word with you. Don't stress me, and I won't stress you. The higher I bless me, the higher I bless you. With your soul purpose, here on the planet of Joe, where they test your loyalty and fight all through the globe. Matter of fact, they're mainly fighting over your soul. Insanely fighting over control. And penny pinching piranhas and shady snakes. None of my homies better come around here with them traits. I'm up midnight scrapping spiritual attachments, checks and balance on yourself so you don't get tapped in. I can't stand them energy vampires. Some of my closest friends are too close to the fire. I never be tempted to make the choice to choose to lose. You're confused with the weird attitudes. I'm popping hurdles over your turtles, you off track. You kinda lost, cause where the hell's your jetpack? Jumping portals over mortals trying to hurt me. All they do is just alert me that I'm a traveler passing through. Come to spend my life and my time with you. Don't test me, and I won't test you. The higher I bless me, the higher I bless you. Traveler, coming to share all my love and my word with you. Don't stress me, and I won't stress you. The higher I bless me, the higher I bless you. Your soul purpose.
Let me know if things ain't working. I came to bring everything I have to the surface. Not trying to change your ways, but I can see certain things. Hurting, been some long days. What I'm saying, I felt my soul flirting. It's up to you to try to brighten up the youth. I'm not a fan of many do because they poison in the roots. Let me dig a little deeper with a speaker blowing out the truth. Either grab my hands or let these fingers burn through. Bringing out these options got me walking on this long road. Got my heart exposed, see it glowing through my clothes. The lights off cause the passion is wrong. Can't bless the traveler when the stamina is gone. Positive vibes when I slide with a message. It's only when the negative strives towards the wreckage. Many lead them in the wrong direction. Don't get it twisted, I'm here to correct it. Making you a visit, I'm a
traveler passing through. Come to spend my life and my time with you. Don't test me, and I won't test you. The higher I bless me, the higher I bless you. Traveler, coming to share all my love and my word with you. Don't stress me, and I won't stress you. The higher I bless me, the higher I bless you. With your soul purpose.
Long as this world keeps spinning, I give my all till the ending. I never break, I'm just bending around them corners, but all dependent. I got problems with sinning, and I just don't need no more drama. On my mama, I'm winning. I'm trying to stay in tune to what's going on, and still picking up the puzzle pieces, trying to figure out where they going. Levitate over old, separate mind and focus, generate life emotions, sound scanning the notion. Does anybody know where they going, or know where they headed? Or you just busy turning up, getting reckless? The life of the young is so misdirected. Decapitate the head by the necklace, and they are still as infectious. The point is I be pushing people past the perfections, pinpointing the power, pushing back the compression, trying to get to the surface, rise over the surface. I'm a time traveler, that's part of my soul purpose.
Filled up, I'm trying to get my paper right. Never losing focus of the vision that I have in sight. My daughter's only 2, but she deserves the finer things in life. Get it before I'm gone, that's the motto that I'm living by. Flipping hundreds, jealous suckers trying to make my spirit fly. Sitting on 2 loud packs, northbound on I-5. Slapping Big Cholo in the Vina cause we high side. Them deuces looking wet out the box, spanked them on the curb. First week I had a mind tripping, homie past the earth. Smoking on that lemon tree, dollar signs on my mind. Flossing all year, little homie, not just summertime. Hardest times came and went, I'm never gonna forget it, bro. Fake rappers holler hustle when the music never live it though. I'm good where I'm at, but better off where I'm headed. I'm a product of the struggle, and never could I regret it. Keep focused on your grind and disregard them haters. Show them suckers that you get it and their hate will never stop it. Keep your vision on your pockets as you multiply your profits. Money never sleeps, so keep them lazy habits. There's fatty in the streets and all you gotta do is grab it. Be a savage about your cabbage, don't be playing with this Gouda. Coming short with the mans, turn a hustler to a shooter. Keep away from them short change, no game, broke lane. If they ain't about they hustle, light them up like some propane. Don't play no whole games, cause
switch quick. You either hoeing in the streets or getting money like a pimp. That life full of luxury is well within your grasp. All you gotta do is get the up off your. If I'm not being social, then I might be in the pen. Or I'm out here in these streets with Big Loco hustling. So I'm blowing up the block, stacking up and tall on my $1 million spot. In and out of traffic, trying to make it happen. Blowing some exotic while that mental ill slapping. Getting money is my passion, but I spend it hella quick. Why I stay up on my grind and I can't ever quit. Hustle late into the night, rise up early on my grind. Ain't nothing but this hustle and this money on my mind.
Hey, what's up everybody? It's your girl RawNe, and it is Saturday, August 4th. We are moving into the latter half of the year, and it's Leo season, and that is whoop whoop me and any other Leos out there. Y'all, I got David Enge in the house. He is a public speaker, and he is basically a teacher of a course that he put together for everybody, and his material is on coping mechanisms, anger management, and incarceration prevention. So I want to introduce him. Welcome.
Hi, how are you doing, Renee? Thank you for allowing me to be on your show. It's a pleasure.
It's a pleasure to have you here. I'm so glad that you are here, especially with the content and the material that you want to share with so many people. It's very important.
It is.
Yes.
You know, it's educational. It'll help somebody understand what they're dealing with, because there's a lot of things that I had to ask myself before coming back home.
Home from?
From being incarcerated for 28 years.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
And I had to do a lot of deep soul searching, right? Because I didn't want to come back to prison. I didn't want to harm another human being, right?
Right.
I didn't want to create victims, right? And be a threat to society and cause fear in the community, right? So we will share. You know, there's so many things to talk about.
So 28 years, and so how long have you been out?
2 years, 3 months.
Okay, so that's some good time to actually really sit and in a different perspective. Like, you know, I'm sure you're sitting in there and you question yourself, and out in here, it's just different walls really, and maybe they might not be so closed in. The walls can be as expansive as you have them, but you're still going to find yourself searching.
That's right.
And trying to still figure out, you know, what is life at this point now, because things have changed.
Right.
So I mean,
because
that's
I come out
amazing.
here with a different expectation, right?
I'm
We
sure.
all do.
Yeah, you have this thought in your mind that it's going to be like this Disneyland, however that Disneyland looks to you.
Exactly.
When you come out.
Right.
And then it's like, whoa, I didn't expect that, I'm sure, right?
Right.
So
we have to adjust our expectations daily. You know what I mean?
I just say I have no expectations, although it is important to have some expectations.
Yeah, it's important to practice patience as well. You know what I mean? You're so impatient. Everybody's in a rush. I was going down the Miracle Mile right here, right? And somebody was just in a rush and just drove past me, but in his Suburban, right? And he was just zooming in and out of cars. So I was looking at him and I was thinking, you know,
what's going on in his head?
Right, exactly.
I think that all the time.
Right.
When people
Panic,
are
fear,
right,
anxiety.
what's going on that they wouldn't even stop to think that. But you know, I can't talk too much, because sometimes, when I drive like that, my mindset.
Put people at risk.
My mindset's that way.
You put yourself at risk. You know what I mean?
It's true. It's true. So, what is the name of the course that what do you call it?
this is just coping skills.
Coping skills.
Tools to work with.
Okay, and
Right.
everybody needs that because, I mean,
Right.
in any facet of your life, when trauma hits you, certain unexpected events hit you,
Yeah.
something that causes an emotional imbalance
Right.
that starts to put somebody in a place, then they have to learn to cope. And if they don't have coping mechanisms, heaven forbid you
Exactly.
are around that person.
Right.
So it's kind of one of those things where it's something that you're bringing to the table to the community, like by you coming back
Right.
into us, our community, into the community, you are bringing value.
Right.
And you are bringing something that can help people grow and to, be a better person.
Right.
So, and that's really important because it takes so many people in our community to help each other grow, to be strong, to understand ourselves, so that we can be that better person as a whole and for ourselves and for everybody. So,
Right.
I'm really excited to have you here and to start jumping into what it is that you have going on here. So, with your fresh, do you want to call it a release?
Yeah.
Your fresh release?
Yeah.
What was it like?
Because I feel brand new. I feel like I've been asleep for 30 years, right?
Really?
And I just woke up and they sent me out here.
What's the biggest
Right.
thing that you're just like, oh, damn?
Well, I was so amazed when I walked into the supermarket, right? And I was just going up and down the aisles. The littlest thing fascinated me, man. And they had so much of it.
What was it?
It was just, these little gadgets.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the different brands of shampoo.
I know.
My brand for 30 years was VO5.
Man, that one you find in
Yeah.
the Dollar Tree now.
Exactly, and that's like $1.65.
Yes,
in
remember
prison,
Prel?
right? I remember Prel back in the day, right?
grandma-
The green bottle.
Yeah, the
right.
green bottle.
Right.
You don't see that much
Yeah,
anymore.
You don't, right?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's really interesting. So,
Yeah.
do you ever talk about kind of what set you there, and then kind of like, or no? Because I don't want to touch on that if you don't want to.
Yeah. My
Because there's
sister-
a lot of people out here that are doing things that might not,
right,
set them in the right state of mind. So
Yeah.
maybe it's a similar situation.
right. So my twin sister, right?
Oh, nice.
Yeah, thank you.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Oh. Can I tell you really quickly? Bucktown Boozy says top of the morning. Maria Manuela says, hey, if you need co-star. And Chris Ozio says, good morning.
Oh,
So.
top of the morning.
Yes.
Yeah, I tip my hat to you.
Yes. So you are
Okay.
twin sister.
Yeah, my twin sister, right? She was raped and beat, right?
Okay.
And by a pimp. And his name was Vance Outlaw.
Okay.
Right? And I took the law into my own hands, right? And what it was is that the day that the murder occurred, I was going through anxiety, fear. You know what I mean? I was dealing with so much emotions, and I didn't know how to identify them, right? My
Because your
ego-
sister, your twin, was
Exactly.
so hurt.
Right?
Yeah.
I was raised on a false belief system, an AntiSocial Code.
Oh,
Right?
interesting.
You know what I
Okay.
mean? Because I was into the drug scene.
Ah, okay.
Right?
Yes,
them
and you don't say
antisocial
anything.
codes right there are don't snitch, don't be a victim,
Ah.
never show weakness, right?
Don't let
no
nobody
one disrespect you. You understand? So these are
Antisocial
antisocial
codes. Wow.
right?
Interesting.
This becomes our false belief system.
Okay.
You see what I mean? This is instilled.
And
in
you didn't
us.
know that back when that
I
happened.
didn't, right? But this is codes of society that we live by.
Yes, those are codes
Not
of society.
by society, our
But
society.
our internal cultural society where
Exactly.
we're like, hey, we're going to
Right.
take care of this on our own.
Exactly.
And
We're going
yes.
to alleviate the police. We're not gonna
Right.
get
We don't want
involved.
them getting involved.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
Right.
And this where ego kicks in.
Ego. Okay.
You know what I mean? And so there's 7 factors of ego that we deal with daily, right? Letting go the need to win.
Number 2, you guys, letting go the need to
right?
win.
And not allowing yourself to be affected.
And that's number 1, you guys, not
Right.
allowing yourself to be affected.
It's not what people say or do. It's how you let it affect you. Do we take it personal? Do we hold on to it?
Right.
You know what I mean? Our ego's at stake, right? We're not going to look bad. You know what I mean? It just goes on and on and on. Everything here has a connection,
Right.
right?
Right.
And so it's pattern recognition. When you see it in somebody else, you recognize it and you say, okay, I don't take it personal. It's just something that he's going through.
You know, sometimes
Or
people
she.
test others in that respect.
We do.
I've heard other people and I've watched other people play the game of, okay, so-and-so does this when this and this happens, I'm going
Right.
to test it.
That's right.
So they set it up to
Right.
see if they're going to get that same. And if they know they get that same reaction,
Right.
it's like that pattern.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Because you're going to be tested,
I know.
right, in food, You're going to be tested in your job position, right? In fear, even in your own self, and even in your family, you're going to be tested.
It's so true.
It is.
Friends, everything.
You know? So what are you going to do?
So let me give you an example of what are you going to do, because I do have a question, because I have kind of recently through work kind of been put in a position where I have been I've been set off. Okay. And I'm trying to find a way to figure out, like, you know, where this is going, and I'm learning to be very patient. So because I've learned that I'm a hothead, I've learned that I can, like, break a relationship between any person, male, female, professional, family. Like, I can break that, like, real quick. But then I see that I do it out of, like, a hot-headedness. But then it's like I go back and it's like I didn't really want that, because I'm, like, a very emotional person too. Like, I'm a loving, family-oriented person, family and friends, like, you know, unite culture type thing. So I don't like to hold on to, like, I will let something go over time. Okay. You know, so kind of thing. But sometimes there might, you know, I had to work through, like, holding grudges and work through things like that. But so at work, there's another supervisor in the area that, you know, just basically had said something to me during a closed door meeting. Okay. Yes, and I was very upset and offended because I was accused of playing favoritism. Right. And I was very taken aback, because if anybody's not playing favoritism, it's me. Right. Because I will fight all the way, you know, to make sure everybody's getting treated equally, everybody's getting heard. Exactly. If, you know, something's not right and we can come to a consensus and a meeting ground, like, let's make that happen. So I'm, like, all about forward motion movements. Like, let's get it started. Let's get it in motion. That's right. So as I started to do that, I was accused of favoritism, because I started to do what was already being set for other favorites to have a very comfy life and their job work balance, their work life balance. Their work is set. So others were being played with, and, like, okay, well, we're not going to give them stability, so they're not going to have that, and it causes people to really become a little bit more agitated, irritated when they don't have that work-life balance. And so when somebody else is at the helm of how that's going to work for them, if, you know, you're in charge, you want to try to create that ease for them. This creates that's our role.
Stress factors.
Yeah, and you don't want to create stress factors in your people. So you got to work as an administration. You got to work to make sure that your people who do the work are happy, and make sure that it's a good balance for everybody and it's a good fit for everything, which is, you know, you got union and all things and that involved and stuff. So,
you know, we all have preference. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And when I'm being accused of something, I immediately addressed it. And I say, and you base it on what? Right. What is it that you base it on? Right. Right. And produce your proof. Yes. If you're honest. Yes. You see what I mean? Yes. Sometimes people.
It was beyond the accusation, though, I have to say.
It could be envious. It could be jealousy. I mean, things.
For the accusations?
By making an accusation. Right. You see what I mean?
Out of jealousy, out of envy.
Exactly. Right. So.
What they call the haters.
Haters, right? So,
yes.
You know, you have that. And so when you recognize it, you just humble yourself. You know what I mean? Don't take it personal. Right. I see, okay, you have an issue here.
Well, he said that. Oh, I shouldn't say he or she. My error.
It's okay.
I have to go back and delete that, you guys.
Right.
Well, that's what was said. Basically, don't get emotional. Don't take it personal.
That's right.
But then, this is not the streets, Renee. This is not the ghetto. And I was like...
Offended.
Holy crap, offended.
Yeah, really?
Like, my
so this is what you think of me.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Holy crap, offended. Like, did he literally just go there? So it made me think, like, what? What do they think about? What are they thinking about me? It started making me question myself, which I became very angry then. So first I was offended, then I was angry
because you're being attacked.
Yeah, because then I questioned myself. That's right. But I questioned myself. That made me so angry, and I was like, "How dare you make me question myself?"
It works against your self-esteem.
My true self, right?
That's right.
Right. So I was like, "Oh my gosh!" So I started thinking, do I need to take more communication courses? Do I need to start? Like, I really started thinking, like, what more do I need to learn? Because if I look like I'm presenting myself as if I'm coming from the ghetto, because I got offended and a little bit more, I got a little bit of a rise, you know, to say, like, why would you think that that's not something that I would do? But then point it out as the person went on to say, okay, well, this person, why would you put all of this across the board? And this is like working on a particular, their work-life balance, making sure that somebody has it as others could, and in their areas they're able to do it. So when after that was said, the person went on to say, okay, well, make sure that this person gets all of these shifts. Okay, didn't you just say that I'm not supposed to like give somebody what we're supposed
Favoritism.
to, something of that nature, but it's not favoritism. It's what they need.
Exactly.
It's what they're asking for.
Because each individual has a certain need.
That's
right.
And that's why certain shifts work out for certain people.
Right.
So how dare somebody tell me that I'm playing favoritism and then make those comments and remarks that this is not the streets, this is not the ghetto, that's why you're difficult and you were difficult for the last person, kind of thing. Like just telling me I was a difficult person, saying, just all of these things. I just was very, very upset about that. And I thought, okay, well, so then the person wanted to remind me, you know how to take orders, you need to be able to just say yes. He was like, you know how it goes. You're a soldier, right? I shouldn't say that he or she, sorry. But saying that to me, like, so when an order comes to you, you just say yes. You know how it goes. You're a soldier. You know how it goes. Because I just got out of the Army.
Okay.
And so it's kind of like, I have a mind. I'm a critical thinker. I am a visionary.
Right.
And for somebody to tell that to a visionary,
right,
putting me in a box,
right,
like I'm just to take orders, like not saying that I don't know how, but how dare you?
Right.
Because I'm in a role that I can do more.
They put you in a certain kind of class.
Yes, and I'm in a role where I can do more.
Yeah.
And so I was just like thinking like, how very interesting that this is a type of supported and or if not supported, but this is a type of environment that people think is okay. So
maybe this person expects you to turn water into wine or something.
just bow down and let everybody else take the lead.
You know what you should do? Is power of words.
Yes.
How they affect people. They can build them up.
Some people don't understand
that. They can inspire
them. Some people don't understand that.
They don't.
So how do you teach that?
Well, we all have a sense of responsibility, right, for ourselves as well as for other people. We have to be mindful of what comes out of our mouth. Because it's a lot of hurt beget hurt.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because I've been affected. I don't like something, that you did, right? And I'm going to react on it because I don't have no control. And that's the thing. We have to have control. We have to have that humbleness in ourselves. And a lot of people don't practice that.
That part. So
right?
how do you practice humbleness? So then it begins the question, how do you practice humbleness? Because a lot of people can't.
Listen.
I think it goes back to letting the need to win.
That's right.
Letting go the need to win. That helps you be humble.
Letting go the need to be right.
Letting go the need to be right. There's a really big one on how to really be humble. Because when you're thinking about it, you guys, when you're out there and you're thinking, so Juan Medina is waving hi, yes. Ben Sanchez, David,
hey,
how you
Ben,
doing?
That's my boy. Yes. I love you, Ben.
So I have to.
Terra Coffee.
So having that being able to be humble.
Yeah.
A lot of people, it's very hard because you have to take into perspective that you got to let go of the ego.
That's right.
And the ego just carries so many people and like, this is my drive, this is how I'm going to do it. And
exactly.
It's all about me.
Me being right automatically says that you are automatically wrong. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Is there a place in our life to where we both can be right? Mm-hmm. All right? It's to agree to disagree.
Right.
It's okay.
Right.
It's no big deal. We can move on, right?
Right.
People hold on to this until the next morning, and they wake up with this thing.
The next week.
Exactly, and it goes on and on and on.
Some people to the next years because they can't ever let it go, and to the point where they have literally severed all relationship and time and any time away of spending life with somebody who was once in their life. And if it's a family member, that's rough.
Exactly.
Best friends.
And just like. It's a human thing. It's not a white thing, a black thing, a Mexican thing, a Chinese thing. It's just a human thing. This is pattern recognition. This is education. This is the nexus, right? The connection.
Yes.
Everybody has their morals, their principles, their standards based on something or someone. How do you teach this to somebody? You're teaching it now. You're inspiring. You understand?
And you're
inspiring
teaching,
means moving forward with progress.
Yes,
right?
with progress.
Uplifting.
Yeah.
I want to be more like you, Renee.
Motivate them.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there's something special about you that intrigues me, right? Where do you get this conduct and character from that I want to pick up on?
Something of that nature, yes.
So we're living examples. We're walking examples to other people, right? And people are watching us from afar.
Yes.
To see if it's consistent.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And they're watching you up close.
Yes,
You
they are.
So
I will be checking the monitors as
sure.
you're speaking. So if I turn, I'm not.
No.
You haven't lost my attention.
I
just got to make sure all the monitors are good.
multitasking.
Yeah. But as we talk, you guys are more than welcome to jump in and ask any questions because really I'm looking for that. I'm looking for your guys' interaction too. So I'm letting everybody know who's tapping in with us, so they know like who's hanging out. So. Also, if you guys have any questions, if this is some good material that you guys are really enjoying and would like to know more, please let us know. Feedback is always good. And this is just the start. This is just the start. He hasn't even got into the meat and potatoes of like breaking it all down. But we're bringing it here to you guys today so that you're able to see what the basics are and what you can look into learning about the 3 reasons people don't take responsibility, false belief systems, the AntiSocial Code, and like ego, how to let go of ego. David Enge has the experience and expertise on this, and so here he is, just bringing it more. You can find him on Facebook.
Yeah.
So David Enge on Facebook
is. I've given. I'm on YouTube, but I've given semi-demonstrations on there, but this is my first one.
Oh, okay.
With you.
Okay.
I've always wanted to do this, right? But I can't find my place quite yet. Why? Because I'm not licensed and I haven't went to college. I went to a certain kind of college.
Right.
Right. I'm dealing with all kind of madness That's
life experience.
It is.
And then you have the education behind. Yes.
Exactly.
So I mean, what more than getting it from firsthand?
Right.
Firsthand.
Right.
And then you're able to actually put it in format to people, so people are understanding, like when they're categorizing, like what they are feeling or not feeling, and where is it coming from?
Identification.
Yes.
Right. How to identify? How to approach it? You know what I mean? Alternative thinking.
Can you talk more about that?
Alternative thinking. Yeah, I use it daily. If I get into something, right? If I talk to somebody, I always ask, okay, well, is it going to put me at risk? Is it going to put my sobriety at risk? Is it going to hurt someone or harm someone? Can I take this importance and share it with somebody? And it goes on and on. You know what I mean? So I use these affirmations, these alternative thinking, ways of thinking to protect myself, right? Because I have to understand that all it takes is a thought, Renee, a thought. And we marinate on it. And then we give birth to it.
Right.
You understand?
Yes, whether it be positive or negative.
That's right. Because my whole life changed in a snap.
Whoa.
And I did 28 years.
Whoa.
Do you understand? Just one critical thinking. Just a thought. That's all it took.
Well, I see it as, yes, there was the thought to it.
Yeah.
But then there was also the human emotion.
Right.
To a high degree of, so a friend and I were just talking about this last night, as a matter of fact, how it's so interesting how we see some people can just go out of pocket because their emotions control them.
That's right.
So it's like
controlling factors.
Yes, being controlled because you're of the inability to control the body, like the failure to master the body.
That's right.
The body has mastered the mind.
That's right.
And then has reacted.
We all have choices.
Right.
Right? I didn't choose to walk away. I could have picked up the phone.
Right.
But because of the AntiSocial Code that I live by, right? We don't call police. We're not looked at as punks.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And so on and so forth.
Right.
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 That prevented me from moving forward. And there was a struggle inside me.
Yeah.
Right? Because I wanted to do the right thing.
Right.
I didn't want to go over there and hurt that human
being. But you knew you had to do something because this was your family.
Exactly.
So to speak.
And I didn't want to look like a punk in front of my crimey. Because he's staring at me all this time.
Right.
And we're having this eye contact.
And you know what it is.
And I don't want to look anything less in his eyes.
Right.
I want to be accepted. You know what I mean? And that's why people join gangs now. They want the acceptance.
They want the acceptance,
and they'll do whatever it takes to be accepted. Whether it victimize somebody steal from somebody.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Do damage in the community. You know, we know
whatever
this.
the initiation it may
Exactly.
be,
Right.
whatever they need to do.
Right.
And that is one of those things where you're looking at I think where the three reasons that you're having where people don't take responsibility. It's like, okay,
Exactly.
because now they're wanting to push okay, well, somebody told me to do that.
Exactly. Placing blame.
Yeah.
Living in denial. Oh, it's not. I didn't do it.
Somebody
You know what
told
I
me
mean?
to do it.
Exactly.
I didn't want to do that.
Right.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, and that's
But I was there, but I didn't do it. You know, that's minimizing,
Mm-hmm.
right? You participated. Nobody put a gun to your head to get in the car and go commit that crime, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to take ownership.
Yes.
You know, and
that's that fight to say, you know,
Yeah.
and like, okay, I don't want to do this. This is not the right thing, and I do
Right.
want. And how hard is that?
that's right. I mean, I went to board several times living in denial, right? Because I wanted to be right.
Ah.
No matter how many times they looked at me and they knew I was
To
lying.
justify it. Mhm.
Right. You know what I mean? I justified my actions when I committed that crime to, you know, say it was okay. You know, but it wasn't okay.
Oh wow! Right,
You know what I mean?
right,
Right. That's
right.
the truth. Be honest in
Yeah.
all things, right?
Right.
How many of us are really, really honest, right?
Yes.
Right. And it's
There
okay
are so
to
many
be
people.
honest.
There's so many people. They just lie to themselves. Like, and you can see. I can
Right.
sense sometimes when people lie to themselves. I'm like, you can lie to yourself all day, but it doesn't mean you have to lie to me. I'm gonna walk away.
That's right.
Because honestly, I see you struggling with yourself, struggling with your own
Right.
lies, struggling with your own truths. Obviously, you're not true to yourself. So, how can you try to like come?
Well, these are
to me
character
like that.
defects,
Ah,
right?
right.
We have
Right.
character. We have ego. We have lying, manipulation, selfishness.
Mhm. They can all, and they can be
cowardness.
corrected too.
Exactly, right? We live in denial, antisocial, low self-esteem.
That's
Right.
that runs rampant.
Right. What creates a failing marriage? A lack of a job?
People being mean to somebody else,
That's right.
calling them names,
Exactly.
making them feel unworthy,
Less than.
less than.
That's right.
Then people start to like own that and
That's right.
believe
That's
it,
right.
and then they
Right.
act
Right.
in that. Then
Yeah.
they become
That's right.
that
This hateful person
of themselves.
of themselves.
And so it's like anything. It doesn't matter what I do or where
Yeah.
I'm going, or it doesn't matter anything because like it doesn't matter. Like
Why?
I don't, I don't
Because
exist.
I have no empathy in my life.
Right.
Right.
So it's really
It's been
interesting.
stripped from me. Right.
So that low self-esteem is just, and it's
That's
in
right.
so many people.
That's why we gotta
Mm-hmm.
hang around, you know, and be sharp and hang around other people that have empathy in their life and have these strong character,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
you know, traits. That because it's character who sharpens character. You know, like iron sharpens
Yeah,
iron.
I was gonna say like iron sharpens iron.
You feel me?
Yes.
Right? So if you're
It's
doing on
true.
the right track and you got a good spirit about yourself, I'm gonna kick it with you, man. Because you know why? You're gonna teach me something.
Right, and vice
And I'm-
versa.
and vice versa.
And vice versa. Like,
You know
I
what I
know
mean?
I'm learning every day from
Yeah.
this person, kind
Right.
of thing.
The power of words, right? You know, isn't it our goal as a nation to be, you know, productive,
Right,
to
capable.
be, loving, to be moving forward as a, you know, togetherness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Growing, because life is short.
Life is short.
You better figure it
And
out.
it's like, and people are forgetting it. So okay, we're gonna talk about those boxes because now when you're saying life is short, you got to keep moving and growing people. Okay, so when you're growing people, the thing is, and the key I want to say is
Yeah.
so difficult. A lot of people don't catch is allowing people to grow in themselves without putting the boxes on them
Right.
of how they should think, how they should act, move. Okay, and in some respects, they need to be taught those things because society has
Right.
certain ways that
Right.
they have to conduct, and you got to fall within those boxes. But as it pertains to humanity,
Right.
it's kind of on a different kind of code.
Right. Well, you know what? You have good people, Renee. Right. They're just stuck in their ways. You know what I
Right, that are,
mean?
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They're being misled. I've been misled for many years. This was instilled in me, right? This false belief system by my uncles. You don't cry, men don't cry.
Right, you grow up that way.
Yeah, you suck up them tears right now, boy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We don't show weakness here. Right? And I've always grew up to believe that, man. Right?
And what's so interesting is the culture, a lot of the Latino culture are empaths.
Machismo.
Right, but
that-
the interesting thing is they're empaths naturally.
That's right.
So they automatically are closer in spirit almost, and that emotional connection. And so when the machismo, it's like so against, but it's so part of the culture.
It is.
It's like so like oxymoronic, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's just an oxymoron. It's like, okay, you got the culture, but we're all about like love and passion.
That's
and you know, but then it's like, okay, but as a man, you don't do that. But like, but the men are some of the most embracive, passionate, and so it's like they deny themselves. So you're cutting yourself off. A lot of the men in the culture are like, you know, so
and people become antisocial like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, somebody has to take the initiative in the family to break that. You know.
So is that you?
That's me.
That's you.
Most definitely, right? Because you know, there's ways of communication. Communication is key. We know this to be true.
Yeah.
In my past, I've always been. Their philosophy was to whoop the education in them. They don't learn, you know. But this instills hate.
Yes.
This instills
big time,
fear.
big time.
You know what I mean? Yeah, a lack of trust.
I remember that happening and being young like that and being all well until I was like a teenager, like 16, 17. I was still getting hit, beat, and everything. I was no makeup. I couldn't go anywhere, and I was hateful. I had like my mindset where I wanted to like hurt somebody. Like I really wanted to like I don't even know if I should say this on the air. It's kind of crazy. It's deep and dark. It's like something was so deep seated, but I can't believe I ever thought that. At one point in my life, I was so angry and so hateful that I remember my dad. He had this gun that he had locked up in a case, and I would try to find the combination because I wanted to put him away, like get rid of him. And I was like thinking, plotting, and I was like,
hurt begets hurt, right?
Yes, but then I've always been blessed in a way that things just don't happen for me. Like I won't be there when the incident happens, or something just doesn't happen when I need it to happen. So this can happen, kind of when it was a bad thing.
Exactly.
So the spirit always protected me to where I then would learn, and karma comes quick for me.
Right.
So learning fast, and a lot of people are in places where they're not connecting the two of like that choice and that.
You got to be some kind of spiritual connected, no matter what your belief is. You know what I mean? And that's the acronym of ego, edging God out.
Oh, that's interesting.
These are defect characters, you know, not having status based on our achievements. I did this, I did that.
People,
evangelists go, look, do you give God glory? Because if you watch evangelist shows, look and study them. And look how many times they say, I did this.
I was an evangelist and I left them because I was like, oh man, they told me I couldn't braid my hair. I was studying in an evangelist. Okay, so I've studied and practiced many different faiths.
Right.
Because my soul is always seeking and searching.
Okay.
And that connection, you know. So I've learned many practices. I can speak with many people about, you know, so many things and their beliefs because I understand them and I learned and I studied them and I practiced them.
That's right.
And so when I was practicing evangelism, when they had a function where everybody was to come to the function and enjoy themselves, and I braided my hair, and then they told me that I was being vain and I was not to braid my hair.
That's right.
And when I thought, how dare you? I was taught, you don't even know, you're coming to tell me that, but you don't understand where I came from. I was taught and told when I was younger that you always dress your best. You never know who you're going to meet.
You see?
So you take care of yourself.
And
you
who
do your hair.
instilled that in you?
My grandmother.
Okay.
And so, and she was always like fly and that, you know, but I mean, I laxed a little bit.
She was a classy woman.
Yes, my grandmother was a very classy woman. And she was a performer and everything. So, but she taught that to my father. My father taught that to me as well. So it
becomes a generation.
So when somebody said that to me, I was like, this is not the practice for me. Because if that's the way that you tell your people, and you think that it's okay to just try to control on somebody braiding their hair, you don't have any clue of what it takes to connect.
But you have to understand that insight too. Whenever someone tells me something, right, Renee, and I say, okay, that's cool. Educate me. Why?
I was 16 at the time.
So it's important to ask the what, who, when, how comes, right? This is how we gain insight, information.
But how do they ask the right question? They should keep that in their back pocket.
Right. And most of them couldn't even tell you. just like when I grew up a Christian, right? I read the Bible, right? And I had so many questions.
Right.
And I was always told, okay, well, you know, don't ask no questions. I don't know. So I was like, well, in this particular chapter or verse, it says this, but why? Oh, don't worry about it. Just believe it, because you know what I mean? But this is something that's going to be in my life for the rest of my life, right? And somebody's going to ask me, hey, can you enlighten me on this?
Yes.
Right?
That part.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, because you're going to be tested.
You want to understand what you know.
That's right. You're going to be tested like you on this radio show.
Yes.
I come to you and I say, well, what is this? And if you was to say, I worked here 7 years, right? But you couldn't provide no answer to my question, then I would begin
question
to look at question that, right?
Yeah.
Right? So we must educate ourselves, right?
Yes.
To have that understanding, to be able to educate other people as well. You know, because you're a walking testimony no matter what it is you're in.
That part is so true. Yes. Yeah. Everybody's a walking testimony.
That's right.
What is it that you gained to share?
That's right.
Where did your knowledge and your wisdom come from?
That's right. Exactly. You know what I mean? So, you know, we're not going to learn everything, and we're not going to save everyone.
Ever.
Right?
You know? So
I don't have that expectation.
There is I don't
about
either.
anything you want to talk about, and it's cool with me, you know?
Yeah. There's a quote or a saying that I once heard, and I always keep it in the back of my mind, in the forefront of my mind, actually, and that you just mentioned, where, you know, you can't teach everybody. You know, they say you can lead them to water, but you can't make them drink, but you can't touch everybody. There's one, and this, because we're talking about the Bible and stuff, but there's one, and I don't know where it's at in the Bible. I just know that it came from there, where it states that Jesus went to every house, and basically it was kind of one of those things where, I think it was something of the nature where they said, leave the dust of your sandals at the doorstep of those who do not want to listen or hear or open the door. And you walk to the next, when the ones that do open their doors to you and embrace and learn, they're the ones that are going to be enlightened. They're the ones that are going to be gifted and have the knowledge and the wisdom and like go so far, because the ones that are closed-minded, closed doors, they're only going to eat the dust of the sandals, because they will not know the wisdom, because they will never open themselves to it.
You know,
but you got to go give it to somebody who will.
That's right. That's right. Jesus came to teach mankind a certain kind of way.
Right.
Right. And he was an inspiration, right, for the world.
Yes, he was.
Right, because he himself set good examples to follow.
Right.
You know, especially the disciples.
Right.
He taught them how to pray, how to make sacrifices, right, how to feed the poor. Right, how to be a certain way, because all this time
of service.
Of service. This is what we are to other people.
Of service, yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, and just to alleviate the selfishness in this, because as humans, I tell you, man,
ego.
Everything is based on ego.
Oh man, what did you accomplish?
Times?
What's your reputation?
Yeah.
Oh, how often are you right? You know, all that stuff. Oh, you're superior. Oh, you got that title.
Yeah, that's right. People look at me. Kind of thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like,
I did this,
pat me on the back. You see what I do?
Right.
And you hear it. Then you can hear it in people's conversations. I listen to people talk, and then that's when, and I can hear myself when I say I too.
And it's called pattern recognition.
And it's like,
you recognize
I did this, and I did this, and I did that. And I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So when I listen and I hear that, I'm like, this person is all about themselves and all of what they're doing. And they just want to take everybody's credit. So I just be quiet. If
they talk 10 minutes without asking you, Renee, how are you doing? You know they got an ego trip.
Oh,
you know? Yeah, this is so true. Yes. And you just listen. And I'm telling myself, I'm laughing, right? And I'm like, man, this guy is really full of himself right here. You know what I mean?
Right.
He's so amazing. You know.
Ted Gonzalez says hello.
How you doing? Yes, sir.
Yes. And if you guys have any feedback also, you guys are more than welcome to jump in and let us know. Like, where did you gain your wisdom, you guys?
Exactly.
You know, what brought you some enlightenment to know how you take responsibility. So I'm just going to let you quickly go over. We got about maybe 20 minutes or so.
Okay.
To go over just this, what we have on the board again. So people saw and heard it a little bit ago, but for those who are just tapping in now, if you can just tell them what this is that we have up here.
Right. You know,
that'd be great.
All these things I had, these, you know, that affected my life. This has affected me from growing, right? From moving forward, from being productive. I did a lot of minimizing. I did a lot of placing blame, right? And I lived in denial. You know what I mean? Because these, you know, because it was easy. they say, well, you know, it's easy to live this way. Well, maybe it's easy not to, you know. So, and then we have this anti-social code: don't snitch, you don't be a victim, never show weakness, right? Don't let no one disrespect you. This was instilled by my friends growing up. You know what I mean? And this helped me to believe that I'm a man. You know,
interesting.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But this is, you know, this is a false belief system.
And how that's such a big society out there.
It is. It is.
A big
man.
society
Right.
lives by these rules.
Right. Exactly. And you
So
know,
can I ask you a question
yes,
though, really quickly?
You can.
Okay, so you have the antisocial code. Not saying that. I mean, it's totally a negative. I mean, because in a sense, there's the positive that brings kind of people together. That's that code, you know.
It is.
But how
It
is it that somebody can go from this is my code, and
Right.
then making the jump to say, okay, well, don't be a snitch.
Right.
Okay, where does that come in? Don't be a victim. Okay, I get it. Don't be a victim because you're not allowing
We
yourself.
don't snitch on our friends.
You're not going to allow yourself to. You're not going to make the choices to. You know. You're not going to make the choices to put yourself in where you're going to be victimized.
Exactly.
But never show weakness. You know, that's a big one for a lot of people. Like, I guess that would be
Don't be
where
emotional.
Yeah, that's the first thing that popped in my mind was a
Exactly.
man
Right.
like showing his emotion.
You're right.
And
we
so,
don't talk about our feelings.
Yes. So
You know what
so
I mean?
how
We
is
don't have
that embraced?
connection.
How is that then embraced so that it's not antisocial? Is it because you have to change your circle of friends, or are you teaching that to your now peers who are still living by this code? Like, how does that get broken?
Well, you know, it all starts with your kids, right?
Okay.
Because
okay.
it was instilled in me, right?
Right.
But I'm here the one that I'm breaking that chain. Right?
Yes.
So I tell my son it's okay to cry. And when he
Nice.
cries, you know, I pick him up and I wipe his tears.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I said, you're a good boy, but it's okay to cry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you're going to go through you have to let them fall.
Yeah.
You have to let them hurt themselves,
Yeah.
right? Because this creates experience. You know what I mean? They're going to come to the final decision when they get older.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But because I didn't show emotion, I became, I had no love in my heart. You see what I'm saying? I had no empathy, right? Because this made me strong. Don't show, right? Weakness made me strong, but there's no such word as strong. It's called callousing your heart, make it hard as a
callousing.
protection. You see what I mean? Because anything you say or do, it doesn't affect me. Not even a sad
Super
movie.
callous.
Do you understand what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And that makes you ugly as a human being. You know what I mean? What? You can't express yourself?
Right.
You can't talk about nothing?
Right.
Right? You can't make that connection?
So you're not going to have a conversation with somebody who needs to have a
Thank you.
conversation.
Thank you. Right? Why? Because it's weakness. That's a false belief system.
Okay.
You see what I mean? Yeah, it's cool to show weakness. I'm
Yeah.
weak. Why? Because I'm human. I
Yes,
cry. Why?
first and
Because I'm
foremost.
human.
That's right.
Right?
And that's what I explain to people many, many times. And
Right.
this just really, really kind of helps to solidify
Right.
in a different scientific way, because if
Right.
you're looking at it, you got science, how it like measures so many different things. You
Right.
got sociology as a social science.
Right.
So this is part of the social science of never showing weakness, and that comes from culture.
Yeah,
So
character development.
Right. And
You
so when
understand?
you're looking at this sociological culture code or
Yeah.
way of life,
Right.
and then when you're talking about breaking it because you're utilizing the fact that you are the teacher, you
Right.
are the mechanism of making the change, then you're
Yeah.
teaching that new generation.
Thank you. Right. And it prevents you from reaching out because it's a weakness.
Instead of
I'm not
reaching-
going to ask you
right.
for help because it's a weakness.
Oh,
You see?
yes. Yes. Some people
Okay.
think that. I think I might think that
Right.
still.
I can't even cry at my mom's funeral. Why? Because it's a weakness. Are you serious? Right? This makes you an ugly human being, man.
Oh, man.
You know what I mean?
Oh, man.
You can't be social with nobody. You can't open up to nobody.
Yeah. Well, that is...
It prevents you from having trust.
Yes.
How can I trust you? If I trust you, it's a sign of weakness.
Right, because you don't even know.
Right, because that means I have to open up to you. And I don't want to do that.
Isn't that so interesting?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
so
right?
interesting. People don't understand that we are first and foremost a spiritual being having a human experience.
Yeah.
The human body emits and emotes. We
Right.
emote first, and then we are also thinkers.
Right.
But we emote first because that's how we make that spiritual connection with the physical self in this realm.
That's right.
So that's how we know that this is real, this is the experience that we're having. And then our mind comes into play
Right.
of, now how do we make a choice? How are we going to handle it?
Right.
So you got your spirit.
It all relates to back to ego.
Spirit,
Exactly. It's spirit,
body, and
connection.
mind.
Right. Right.
and so it's so important to really learn oneself.
Yeah.
And really learn oneself among the societies in which we exist.
Right. You know what, Renee? I tried everything, right? Because I tried drugs for comfort, right? Peace. I've tried hanging around people that made me feel good, right? That, men don't cry and we don't show weakness kind of thing, right?
Yes.
But none of it worked. None of it. So I had to ask God, just help me, man. Just help me, please. I'm stuck and I don't know what to do.
That spiritual connection.
Yeah, and I need you to intervene. Give me the knowledge, right? Give me that, so that way I can apply it in my life and make my life better, right? So he gave me a lot of insight. So I had to dig deep. I had to understand. And we don't want to open up that door, man, because once you open up that door, it becomes ugly. Because we have to face
Things, all that self-denial. Where is it? Self-denial.
Thank you. Right? We're still living
Like, man, I denied that for so long, and now it's like, what?
And it's okay.
I gotta.
Man, I lived in ignorance, right? And we can die in our ignorance too.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Ignorant means a lack of knowledge. That's
yeah.
all. It doesn't mean you're stupid.
Yeah, stupid
or
is different.
Dumb.
That's why my dad used to get mad at us. We could never say, "Don't ever call anybody stupid." He said, because
right.
we would get mad at each other. Be like, "Stupid!
That's
Don't
right.
ever call anybody stupid."
because
we
you
would get in trouble for
that's right.
saying stupid, shut up.
There
We
you
could
go.
never tell anybody shut up because it was very rude.
Right.
You don't call people stupid because it's very rude and that you're demeaning them.
That's right.
Because stupid means they cannot learn.
That's right.
Whereas ignorant,
Right. Then
you can learn. Right.
Then they begin to act out on it.
Yes.
And now that becomes their life.
So my dad very much knew about word power.
That's good.
Word
Power
play.
and words.
Yes.
Right.
So Ted Gonzalez, he says Mexican American Human Rights enjoys the program. Too many, and when we're speaking on showing the weakness, he says too many souls are confused. They need God in their lives.
They do. Exactly. That's why I say this becomes ourselves, right? Because we edge God out.
Right.
Don't
Edge God out. I think that's such a cool
I got
acronym.
this. You know what I mean? I'm superior. I'm right.
Oof.
I'm focused on.
Because you're not letting God in to help you humble.
That's right.
To humble yourself, to say.
And what did Jesus say?
Oh.
Jesus said, "Exalt yourself,
Ooh.
and I'll humble you. Humble yourself, and I'll lift you up."
Isn't that right?
That's right.
Isn't
we
that
have
right?
to humble ourselves in our.
We have to.
You know what I mean?
We have to.
That's right.
Oh my goodness gracious! Like so many things.
Yeah. That's why I say it's so important, right? We're having this conversation, right? Is there something that I can walk away from this round table and share it with somebody else?
Absolutely.
And be an inspiration in their life?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Moving forward and make them happy,
At least put a little hint of a smile on their face and in their heart.
That's right.
When the people get to smiling, if it's not that devilish mental smile that they're like, but that heart.
That conniving kind of smile.
Yes,
right, yeah.
that heart smile where it's like,
That's right.
it's a different smile.
It feels good.
It's a good smile.
Man,
It's a
because
heart
it's
smile.
honest.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And
Yes.
that's the key word.
It's impactful.
Honesty. It is.
That's an impactful one that they got an aha moment maybe.
Right.
Or they appreciated something.
Right.
Versus what are they thinking as to like how are they twisting it and how are they looking at it, and that conniving smile is so different.
You talk to somebody that's 55, 65 and you think that they got it together. You know
would
what I mean?
think.
And you would like to because you're of that age, you have so much experience. That's not absolutely true.
No.
Your experience comes through your conduct and your character.
And the choices you make.
Thank you. Right?
Yes.
Right, because we all have choices.
Yes.
And the choices I choose to make in my life are going to be healthy. and they're gonna protect me.
That's right.
Right, and
That's
they're gonna,
right.
yeah, they're gonna help me grow.
And not only does it protect you, it protects all those around you.
That's right.
Those in your circle.
That's
it
right,
protects
'cause you
your
have a
family.
responsibility.
Right.
And they're watching you.
Right.
Right, and they're sponging everything that you do or say.
Yes.
Right?
And it's where you're able to make you're able to make those right decisions for yourself. Not only when you're making those right decisions for yourself to protect yourself, you are protecting those around you, because you kind of, females, for example, and I'm just saying, if the situation was different back in the day and female made a different choice, so your sister made a different choice for herself, it would have been different for everybody involved.
That's right.
So it's kind of those things where you got to make the right choices, because it's such a way of life that it protects the world you live in.
And you got to love yourself.
You have to love yourself.
Because if you don't love yourself, ain't nobody going to love you like you love you.
Question then, if I'm going to ask the questions like devil's advocate for the world and those who, how do you love yourself? For those who don't even know how to love themselves, right?
Right.
How do I love myself?
You have to believe in yourself.
How do I believe in myself? Like, I don't believe, nobody believes in me for nothing. What's there to believe in about me?
You have to give
right?
yourself that mercy that nobody else is giving.
That nobody else is doing. That's
you know
right.
I mean?
Forgive yourself,
Right,
love yourself, accept
man.
yourself.
Exactly.
Like, if there's only one person in the entire world that you would accept, it would be yourself.
That's right. And have that, and always...
To know you have a place in this world and it's okay.
You do. You have a purpose, and find out that purpose. What is your purpose?
They need to find that.
Right.
They need to find that.
Because just like this purpose holds this chalkboard up, that's his purpose,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right,
so
right.
we have to figure out what your purpose is. Right?
It makes me want to play Soul Purpose again, the one we played in the beginning of the show.
Let's play it.
You want to play it?
Yeah,
oh, that's so
let's play
dope.
it.
Okay,
That's
so
cool.
I'm going to play Soul Purpose, and this is by Erupt and Dioc. And then, like, right after that, actually, I'm going to throw one more. It's called By Myself.
Okay.
And that's from Bucktown Boozy. So let's just find Erupt and Dioc, and that's Soul Purpose. Here y'all go.
I'm a traveler with the sole purpose. Yeah, 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 yeah. Traveler, passing through. Come to spend my life and my time with you. Don't test me, and I won't test you. The higher will bless me, the higher will bless you. Traveler, coming to share all my love and my word with you. Don't stress me, and I won't stress you. The higher will bless me, the higher will bless you. With your sole purpose, here on the planet of Job, where they test your loyalty and fight all through the globe. Matter of fact, they're mainly fighting over your soul. Insanely fighting over control. Penny pinching piranhas and shady snakes. None of my homies better come around here whipping traits. I'm up midnight scrapping spiritual attachments. Checks and balance on yourself so you don't get tapped in. I can't stand them energy vampires. Some of my closest friends are too close to the fire. I never be tempted to make the choice to choose to lose. You're confused with the weird attitudes. I'm hopping hurdles over your turtles, you off track. You kinda lost, cause where the hell's your jetpack? Jumping portals over mortals trying to hurt me. All they do is just alert me that I'm a traveler, passing through. Come to spend my life and my time with you. Don't test me, and I won't test you. The higher will bless me, the higher will bless you. Traveler, coming to share all my love and my word with you. Don't stress me, and I won't stress you. The higher will bless me, the higher will bless you. Your sole purpose.
Let me know if things ain't working. I came to bring everything I have to the surface. Not trying to change your ways, but I can see certain things hurting. Been some long days. What I'm saying, I felt my soul flirting. It's up to you to try to brighten up the youth. I'm not a fan of many do because they poison in the roots. Let me dig a little deeper where the speaker blowing out the truth. Either grab my hands or let these fingers burn through. Bringing out these options got me walking on this long road. Got my heart exposed, see it glowing through my clothes. The lights off cause the passion is wrong. Can't bless the traveler when the stamina is gone. Positive vibes when I slide with a message. It's only when the negative strives towards the wreckage. Many lead them in the wrong direction. Don't get it twisted, I'm here to correct it. Making you a visit, I'm a
traveler, passing through. Come to spend my life and my time with you. Don't test me, and I won't test you. The higher will bless me, the higher will bless you. Traveler, coming to share all my love and my word with you. Don't stress me, and I won't stress you. The higher will bless me, the higher will bless you. With your sole purpose.
Long as this world keeps spinning, I give my all till the ending. I never break, I'm just bending around them corners, but all dependent. I got problems with sinning. winning, and I just don't need no more drama. On my mama, I'm winning. I'm trying to stay in tune to what's going on, and still picking up the puzzle pieces, trying to figure out where they go and levitate over old, separate mind and focus, generate live emotion, sound scanning the notion. Does anybody know where they going or know where they headed? Or you just busy turning up, getting reckless? The life of the young is so misdirected. Decapitate the head by the necklace, and they are still as infectious. The point is, I be pushing people past the perfections, pinpointing the power, pushing back the compression, trying to get to the surface, rise over the surface. I'm a time traveler. That's part of my soul purpose.
Yeah, I'm solo, but I do my thing. They jogging, so I let my nuts hang. They hating, my gunna go bang bang. I throw a B up, but I don't gang bang. Bucktown, it's a family thing. I'm married, but the streets got the ring. Feel like a hot boy with all this bling bling. Rolling deep, nah, it's just me. When it's time for beef, no one to tell on me. I'm in the middle of the club, set in the air. Maybe I'm set tripping, but I don't care. Cause I head to the truck, come back like this whole club up. Don't give up, that's how I was raised in the bug. That's how I was raised in the chug. I asked for the help, they ain't help me get up. I had to do this by myself. I asked for the help, they ain't help me get up. I had to do this by myself. I asked for the help, they ain't help me get up. I had to do this by myself. I asked for the help, they ain't help me get up. I had to do this by myself. Scrolling on me up, y'all just punting. Real the rat job, ain't no frontin'. I'm on right now, that's why I stay stuntin'. Stay with the trade pump, quick to get the dumpin'. Smoke a lot of gas, call me a stoner. Let's get it, feeling like Jeezy. I fuck with J-Cat, nothing but loyalty. Unknown right now, but y'all don't know me. Running from the broad, the check is calling. I'ma fuck with these fools, I can't love them. I get the money, the bras get nothing. After my BM, I can't trust them. The boozy, still on the same. Bees up, still rapping the same click. Boozy, still on the same. I want the money, all I think. I asked for the help, they ain't help me get up. I had to do this by myself. I asked for the help, they ain't help me get up. I had to do this by myself. I asked for the help, they ain't help me get up. I had to do this by myself. I asked for the help, they ain't help me get up. I had to do this by myself. Boozy, Mr. Blow the Dodo. Everywhere I go, you gon' smell a lot of smoke. Real recognize real, got no choice but to blow. Started from the bottom to the top, I'ma go. Too deep tonight, moving with the strap. Time to get down, my boy ready to go. Why? Hate on a like me. I'm just trying to get money, feed my family. I want a couple millions, take to the country. Pull that up like a city. Since the juvenile, I stuck to the G code. Now I stack till it don't fold. Big mix like Trinidad, rockin' all gold. You already know, I rep the Charlie old Dre. Hey, get your boy mouth full of gold. Getting a moolah, stacking from the floor. I asked for the help, they ain't help me get up. I had to do this by myself. I asked for the help, they ain't help me get up. I had to do this by myself. I asked for the help, they ain't help me get up. I had to do this by myself. I asked for the help, they ain't help me get up. I had to do this by myself. I asked for the help, they ain't help me get up. I had to do this by myself. I asked for the help, they ain't help me get up. I had to do this by myself. I asked for the help,
And he's gonna remember you for the rest of his, for sure.
Right.
You know,
his or hers,
yeah,
right?
for sure. You know, it's the enemies that we create in our life, right? Or it's the deepest friends that we hold on for. You know, like, let me tell you something about Ben. I love Ben, and I love Betty. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And they're inspiring because I see they want to make a difference in the community.
That's right.
Right. Now that I've been on your show, I'm able to say that same thing.
That's probably why we all stay here. That's why we're all still here.
You know what I mean?
Yes, it's the truth.
We all have a purpose, and we can share that purpose and enjoy them. You know, how many times have you watched Price is Right?
Oh my God.
Blinko, when it hits
Plinko,
the 25 or 5,000,
the
right?
10,000 and the 5,000,
and they're getting excited, and you're excited for
them,
and you didn't win nothing because the commercial's coming up, right, and you're stuck with nothing. But it's that enjoyment, you know what I mean?
I get happy for people,
and you want to
succeed,
and you want to share it, right? It's like you hitting a lotto.
Yeah.
What do? You call up somebody.
Yeah.
Guess what? Oh my God. You know what I mean? I want to share the good news.
Yes.
Right? And this is what we have in our life, good news. Yeah. Right? We want to share this, right? Because it's inspiring.
Yes.
It moves somebody. It makes them happy. You know what I mean?
It grows people, it grows the community. And when that happens, you start to see a vision of a community, a real, true, living, breathing vision of what was that. That piece, like how everybody's coming together.
Exactly, but everybody in the community is not going to participate.
No,
Our
of course not.
Is to interact and motivate,
inspire
them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because
encourage them,
right? Encourage.
Yep.
But we're here to create that balance in Stockton.
Yes,
you understand
that part.
That's right.
And because I know we need it here so much,
right?
And it's people like you, David, that we need to have here because we have a lot of people that they listen to you because of your experience. Right. They listen to you because of like the life that you live, that you are living, walking example.
Right.
And they know. And this is why I tell people who go and live that kind of hard life. We gotta get ready to wrap up here. So just really quickly, y'all, it's RawNe Hour over here at KXVS, the voice of Stockton, on Saturday, August 4th. We're over here with David Enge. He's a public speaker on coping mechanisms, and he's coping skills, yes, and incarceration prevention. Yes. And he's gonna be coming back. We're gonna have him back down the road. We're gonna talk about some of these other things and their points and in this program that he outlines here. But I just wanted to get back and just let you guys know that it's growing the people and it's growing the community. It's really letting people know that you can do it too because somebody else has done it and they can show you how. Right. And there are people out there who talk about, they can't ever get out of that lifestyle. Let me tell you, I got family members that you would never have thought been in a place that they were at, right. And they are. Now, like my aunt, she was in the streets, you know what I'm saying? She walked the street. No, she was a walker. She walked the streets. She was, drugs and, all that stuff. And, she was in really bad situations. And because she was so much in and out of drug rehab programs, she is now a state inspector for the rehab programs, and she goes up and down the state and she inspects those drug rehab programs because she has been in so many of them. And as she turned her life around, she's like a deep practicing Buddhist. She's like very strong in what she does. She's like, her character is strengthened. She has raised herself up so much so that you would never think that she came from a place like that. And it's amazing to see that. And I have other stories of family members in the same context. That's why I know. People tell me, no, you can't tell me nothing because I've seen it with my own eyes.
That's right. Seeing is believing.
Seeing is believing. Right. And so you are that walking testimony. And to be able to put it in such a way that you can enlighten and teach others. And teach them, because some people don't know how to organize their thoughts and stuff like that. So then they wouldn't be able to teach it.
That's right.
And to show them like where it comes from and how to help people understand like when something was generated or thought or felt, like where it falls and why it came and why it didn't and why it worked and why it didn't, kind of thing. Right. So you bring such a knowledge and an understanding that people need to know. So thank you so much for bringing that. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Oh, thank you so much.
I'm looking forward to sharing so much more with the community that you have for them.
Good.
So you guys, if anybody knows of anybody who's also working with ex-felons, convicts that come out and they're starting, and they employ
struggles.
and they employ. Can you please send them our way? You know, David, he definitely would like to gain some cool employment out there and be able to just get out there and get back into society, get things going. You know, among his teaching program, he goes out, he does speak with different schools and things like that. But
working with the promising youth.
Yes, that's and volunteering out in the community. But he would definitely like to get into some employment because we know that it's difficult for our felon family and friends.
Keep people on the right track.
Yeah, we want to keep them on the right track. That's right. So if you guys know of anybody, please send them our way. This is David Enge. You guys can find him on Facebook. And if you want to get more information, tap in next time and maybe he'll give you his phone number, unless you want to give it to him now.
I give it to him now.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and type it in here, okay?
All right.
209
430
430
4259.
4259.
Yeah.
That's David Enge.
And thank you so much, Renee. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. You are so welcome. Thank you so much for coming. And if there's anything else you want to
community of Stockton.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Well, you guys, that's our time. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. And I'm just going to go ahead and close out because we ain't got no more time and the other people's got to get set up. They're going to have their show. You got Ed and his friend coming in. They're getting ready to bring you pop culture. All right. So that's our time. You guys have a really, really good Saturday. And go join all the events that are coming out. There's like the Soul Food Festival going on downtown. You're going to have a lot of performers out there. The new School of Keto is opening up. They're going to be having an opening day, grand opening day, and that's until 3:30 today. So head on out over there. The Soul Food Festival that's going on downtown, that one, a keto's free. The one downtown you got to pay, and they go on till 8 o'clock tonight. And then there's one other event that's going on.
By the east side, I believe.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It's, oh my goodness, somebody robbed me of my memory.
But if you guys can go ahead and get there, please do. All right, that's our time. You guys take care.